欢迎收听 Kenny NOW 星球。今天呢，应广大的听众、观众朋友们的邀请呢，以及期望，我们请到了 Mr. Quincy Davis. Because many of our viewers and listeners are requesting for you or wanting to see you come out this program. So very luckily we got you, today to join our program.
Thank you.
Would you like to say hi to everybody?
Hello everyone. 大家好. It's here. 戴维斯.
Okay, good. Just to not give away for what is coming later on of this program, we're going to start with something, the history and the background of Mr. Quincy Davis. Before you came to Taiwan, Quincy, you play around the world. You play many different leagues. Can you sort of give us a brief background in the history of all the different countries and the leagues you played in before?
Sure. Because I am represent myself as a youth ambassador, for the young kids and generations of youth. My background of basketball, started, within the classroom. So that's why I try to teach the young kids, before you can be a basketball player and play sports, you have to, get it done in the classroom. So as a basketball player, doing good, making good grades, I got scholarships to go to university. After the university, here comes the letters of opportunities to go play, abroad. Of course, the NBA is the number one goal that you want to reach, but just in case you don't make it to that league, there are other options. So I wasn't afraid to travel, and the moment I had the opportunity to make a living for myself, I decided to go play abroad. My first stop was Europe.
Okay.
Had a great time. It was actually a similar island to Taiwan, which was called Cyprus.
Okay, that's off the shore of Greece, right?
Yeah.
That's right
inside the Mediterranean.
Right.
So I had an opportunity to play there. It was about 6 months. Had a great time there. Competition was very good. We had about 2 import players during that time. But it was a good opportunity for me, and culture shock, all in the same thing. But just being alone and being on an island by yourself, not knowing the language was, my first time, traveling and playing the game of basketball.
Right. 我刚刚问了一个很简单的问题就是我们今天要讨论的一些话题应该会蛮辛辣的。不过从开始呢，我们就先讨论一下这个 Q 他的过去篮球的一个背景。他说他是一个年轻求学或者是呢在学业方面非常看重的一个人。那他也希望成为就是学业以及进步这个小孩子念书这样子的一个促使者，或者是一个这方面的一个去这个希望大家都可以一起来好好把学业念好的一个人。所以他有这样子的机会呢，去了大学，然后打了篮球，然后呢，虽然他本来想进 NBA， 可是大家都知道这是一个很困难的事情。然后呢，他也不怕旅行，也不怕一个人去闯世界，所以他的第一站呢就到了欧洲的 Cyprus 岛。那这个岛呢，到了这个地方，他也不懂那边的语言，也没有什么朋友。可是呢，他认为这是一个非常棒的经验，也开启了他在篮球职业生涯上面的第一步So, being in Cyprus, I'm sure it's a cultural shock. And was there anything that deterred you or kind of discouraging you for moving forward as a professional basketball player that traveled around the world?
Oh, absolutely. From the not being either paid on time, not winning.
Oh, that's horrible.
So many different things. But there were also many good aspects of it too. As soon as you arrive there, you got your own apartment. They give you a car.
Right.
Make sure that you are, comfortable in that aspect.
Did they check your driver's license before you
No, absolutely.
They did? Oh, what a mistake.
But and in Cyprus, it's similar to Japan. You're driving on the left side of the road. So, but again, my childhood experiences, prepared me for all that. I was sneaking my parents' car at the age of 11,
you
12,
told me that before.
13. So I'm a very experienced driver, knock on wood. So, but yeah, it's always going to be pitfalls, ups and downs. Just being abroad, being alone. For the first time traveling. So made it to Cyprus. didn't have the best season there, but kept traveling, kept going back and forth home, going to different teams, going to Germany,
okay.
then to Portugal. Some of the amazing food there, but you just don't know if you're going to be paid on time. You don't know if the new import player who's coming in is going to take your place, or he's coming to replace the other guy. So everybody's just on pins and needles trying to figure out, what's going on. Is my game good enough?
Right.
Is it too good that I'm taking away from the local players? It's all that type of balance that you have to. And then the finance side, you want to make sure that you're getting paid on time. Sometimes the payment's late. Sometimes it's just 50% of it. You just don't know.
Right. 我问他就说他在打职业比赛啊，就是到海外来讨生活，有没有什么碰到挫折或创伤啊？他说的确就是有的，特别是最重要就是有的球团呢，这个薪水没有如实照付，要不然就是有的时候还付个一半。不过呢，这么多的不愉快的地方，还有他好的地方。譬如说，他一到了 Cyprus 的时候呢，公司就给他一台车，把他放在旅馆里，他觉得很高兴。然后我问他他们有没有这个看他的驾照有没有效，他说对方没有，所以他很高兴。不过如果你有看到我之前访过一次 Davis 的话呢，就知道我们有讨论过，他在11、12岁的时候就会偷偷开他爸的车出去跑来跑去，所以开车对他来说绝对不是一件难事啊。所以呢，这个不过开启了他职业生涯的一部分，然后他又到了像葡萄牙、像德国各个地方打职业篮球。那当然最重要的一个人还是在这个薪资的上面，因为其他的问题，比如说他有没有看到别的新的洋将进来，是要来取代他呢，还是取代另外一个家伙？所以常常打球就是如坐针毯一样的困难跟煎熬。那有的时候他也要有一些自己的平衡吧。他不能就是说打得太好，然后把所有的本土球员的机会都抢走了，所以变成本土公敌啊。所以各个来看呢，的确这个到海外讨生活，除了要有球技之外，还要懂得做人。那 OK, so after Portugal and Germany, are there any other countries that you went to, or are Germany and Portugal a lot different from Cyprus?
Not too much, because mainly European basketball is something that you have to get used to, but. I had good times there. We won games, we lost games, but you're always worried about where's your next city that you're going to travel to. Mm-hmm. So luckily, I had the opportunity. My biggest opportunity was to go to Venezuela, which was very fun and exciting. Being in that type of environment.
South America.
Yeah, South America, right next to Caracas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like a big partying.
Big partying, but also it can get violent out there sometimes.
Okay.
But what really led me to come to Taiwan, I believe, is during this time with YouTube. We still had DVDs that we were giving agents to show
yes.
how well we're doing. But I got the opportunity to go to Beijing back in 2008 and play for an ABL team. Which is similar to the league that we're in now. But playing in that ABL league, we actually traveled and played a lot of teams back and forth in the States and played Singapore. The Slingers is one of the teams that I remember playing against.
Right.
But somehow the team that we were on dropped out of the CBA. And but I had a good time, playing with that team. Left that team, came back and played in the NBL that very next year, and we ended up winning the championship with that team. And after that, I kind of took a year off because I didn't get a call back to play, and then I got a call from Taiwan. So I guess playing in Asia, my agent at that time was Taiwanese. I didn't know it, and he just invited me to come play over in Taiwan.
Okay. Well, 欧洲走了一圈以后呢 ，Davis 又跑去了委内瑞拉。他说委内瑞拉是一个好玩的地方，在南美洲嘛，然后很靠近一个地方叫 Caracas， 也是一个还算是好玩但是危险有暴力的一个城市。在这个地方呢晃了一段时间，然后又去了这个大陆打了 ABL， 然后在亚洲跑来跑去，所以又打了 NBL， 所以这个开启了他在亚洲打球的一个生涯哦。And so having been in all these different places, in Europe, in South America, of course, or originally you're from North America, and then in Asia, and then you come to Taiwan. Were there anything different, or or shocking to you that when you came to Taiwan and play?
I think more so the environment that I was in. When I arrived here, I think the people were very accepting and very warming. Every country that I had been to before, you know, the head coaches and everybody would always give you this pre-speech like your parents would tell you, you know, before you go outside, make sure, you know, you don't have your chain inside, make sure you don't have any loose items or anything. You know, coaches would just don't stay out too late, make sure somebody's with you. You know, I never got that talk when I came to Taiwan. It was just like, you know, okay, here's your room. You know, we have this time, scheduled time that we're going to be at this practice or things like that. But there was no talk, so quite naturally roaming the streets. It was actually during the Lunar New Year, so I was just roaming the streets one day, and one family invited me to a Lunar New Year dinner.
Oh, just random person?
Yeah, just random family.
Oh, really?
The week later, and they demanded actually that I come. It was something, you know, kind of weird, but it was like they demanded that I come for dinner. I thought it was just nothing. And the following next week, they was like, oh, you know, what brings you to Taiwan? Demanded that I come to their house for dinner. So here I am, this tall black guy roaming the streets, and random people are inviting me to come to dinner with them. So I had two families actually during that time. 2010, I believe, 2011, that invited me for a dinner. So I knew right then that this place was, you know, something special by just the way that the people treated, you know, a foreigner or just somebody that they didn't know.
Right, Taiwan is very welcoming. 所以呢，他这个来到了台湾以后，发觉台湾还蛮不一样的。因为他说他刚到的时候呢，他在别的城市或别的地方打球的时候，教练都会给他一个像那种爸爸对小孩子这种教诲，就说你要知道晚上不要出去太晚，然后你有这个金链子，你要把它收起来，不要给别人看到，财不露白。然后呢，还有各式各样这些，就是说你不要跟陌生人混在一起这样子的一些警告。可是到了台湾呢，教练居然什么都没有。At the time, coach is Roger, right?
Right.
徐运泽教练没有说这个你不准出去，他说你这个什么时候来练球就好了。然后呢，那个时候差不多是过年的时候，然后他说他居然在路上就碰到随便一个家庭，居然邀请他去他家吃晚饭，所以让他觉得台湾真的是一个很特别的地方，而且是真的对外来的一些游客或者是外来人呢。非常非常的欢迎，而且是友善的一个地方。他马上觉得台湾是有点不一样啊。So, at first, you play for Pure Youth, right?
Right.
浦原. How was that experience for you? Was it winning at first, or were you like for sure that you're gonna like stay here for a long time? Or?
Oh, absolutely not. Originally coming to Taiwan, I was supposed to play for Taipei.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, things didn't work out. I was actually in medical school studying to become a fireman when I was at my computer and got an email to go to Taiwan Beer. So I'm like online buying all kind of green shoes, green everything, just to get ready for Taiwan Beer. And then I told them I couldn't come.
So what city were you in back then? You know, when you're
studying, I was in LA.
Okay, so green shoes must be tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the States, so it's just going online.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Okay,
yeah, it's everywhere. So I'm getting ready for this, and they said that they couldn't wait. They had to have me right now, and I was like, I can't come now. I got to finish this test, this exam, so they couldn't wait. And then I got another call that says that they canceled, and now Puyuan wanted to accept me to come over. So I get over here, and we're immediately traveling. I think we may have gone to Hualien or something like that. So it was really quick. We got here, had to do a couple road games, and just the stories of me coming to practice. You may have to interview a few more people.
Okay.
They'll give you the honest, you know, opinion of what they thought.
Well, you're saying that you're not going to tell me an honest truth of what happened right now?
No, I can tell you the honest, but I may embellish a little bit, and it just go from bits and pieces of what they all told me.
Okay.
And it's basically me coming here,
right?
Me being skinny, me being not tall enough, me not doing all kind of acrobatic dunks, being a rebounder. I mean, I just hear from just my friends that I grew up, that I've been around since I've been here. They're like, yeah, Davis, we just knew you were going home the next week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They was like, yeah, we're looking for a guy who can get 15 rebounds, a guy who can do explosive dunks, and just really like lift up the team.
Yeah.
I did none of that.
Yeah, well, they're probably looking for a guy who can light a cigarette with their fingertips
yeah,
too, right?
Absolutely. They were just looking for something. This is a team that hasn't won yet. So traveling, we end up winning that game. The next game, we just kept winning, and we kept winning and kept winning. So I'm not even sure if Roger even wanted to keep me after that, but we had no choice, but we just kept winning.
Right.
Before you know it, the player of the week is coming in, the next player of the week is coming in, and we just kept winning from that point on. And I think that really just, really lit the spark, or sparked the fire that made me a success here.
我刚刚问他的问题其实还蛮简单，我说来台湾打球是不是一直都很顺利、一帆风顺，或甚至就说马上就是让他知道，就说他就是在这个地方。他说没有。因为他其实刚开始来台湾是他接到的通知是要去台啤，结果后来因为他要考一个考试啊，因为他那时候要当救火员，当那个消防队员，所以他要考一个试。结果后来那个考试呢还没有考，他不能来，所以台啤就等不及了，就说不要你了。结果没有多久就得到了仆员的征召，所以呢他来了以后。他就听到周边很多声音说啊，他来了以后长得好像没有特别的高啊，是不是太瘦了一点？然后他抓不到15个篮板，他得不到20分，这个可能不是他要的。然后他们马上要去花莲比赛，那花莲比赛了以后呢，其实结果就是他们赢了，然后又赢，或再赢，然后就一直赢，然后他就开始赢了单周最佳球员，然后又赢了一次单周最佳球员，所以那个时候他还不太确定这个。徐总是不是要把他留下来？可是可能就是形势比人强吧，就是一直赢球，没办法。So at that point, I think, a lot of Taiwanese coaches, they, in my opinion, they always want somebody. They want instant gratification, and they want somebody or something that's eye pleasing. Right. They want to pass the eye test. Right. They want that somebody, can dunk like Gerald Green and shoots like Vince Carter. But Gerald Green and Vince Carter came out losing.
Right.
But
they were good in their own perspective. But as far as the team, situation, that's where I feel like they failed at.
Right. And they were winners, but they're very fundamentally sound. Like in the 80s, you have guys like Cedric Maxwell. You have guys like Kevin McHale. They're not gonna make 360 dunks, but they're just gonna put the ball in the rim and they get there. Right. So, do you consider you that type of player?
In a way, I think more on the court, my personality and getting along with my teammates off the court was very important.
Right.
I just wasn't going back to my hotel or going back to my own personal life while I was here in Taiwan. I actually was getting along with the players and hanging out with players, not speaking any English, but just body language was enough to get us to be on the same chemistry to where we can work together.
Right.
So that's very important. Sharing the ball, just keeping us together is just very, very important. So a lot of players, come here and they want to build up their resume. So they can take this resume to go to the next league, to go
do their own things.
Do their own thing, but that was never my case. I was actually on the phase of retiring, so I just wanted to just be around them and just thankful for the opportunity.
How old were you then?
27.
27. So you got here, you start reading your teammates, you start seeing where you can contribute and see how you're going to win the games. Well, 所以洋将来台湾也有不一样的洋将嘛。像 Davis 刚刚讲的，就是说很多洋将来台湾，他可能就是想把他的自己的成绩单打得漂亮一点，所以呢，他找下工作的时候呢，他有一个非常好的履历表，说他得了35分、20个篮板平均。可是当他来这边的时候，他认为他并不是要这样子做的，他反而是在观察他的队友，看他的队友有什么能力，然后如何可以帮助球队来赢球。所以虽然那时候他才27岁，可是我认为那个洋将来的态度不一样，自己扮演的角色不一样，所以对球队的影响也会有截然不同哦。所以这个也是很多一个启示了，就是说你不一定要一个得30分的人才能帮你赢球。So immediately you may impact and win the games for Puyuan.
Right.
And did that really sparked you to want to stay in long term? Or when was in the back of your head really start to think, well, I think I'm going to stay here for good, or I'm going to stay here for X amount of year, or is there that particular timeline, that little light bulb came on and said, bing, I'm going to stay in Taiwan?
There was actually never a light bulb for me, really.
Oh, no.
I played the game. We won the championship again. Maybe it was just luck. Again, I'm speaking from the outside looking in. People, speculating. We won the championship, and it was our first ones. We're happy. But now the league is rearranging now.
Right.
During that time, it was like, okay, there's a height limit now.
Right.
I remember going to a place where they're measuring your height, and I've never done this before. They're measuring their height by basically hanging you upside down. So there's no sitting up high up on the board and stuff like that. I remember them holding your feet.
Like bats?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's like now we need to get some, maybe Davis is too tall.
Oh.
So we need to get people to measure the height.
From 2 years ago, you were too short. Now you're too tall now. Must feel good.
Yeah, so then it was like, okay, now the league just kept on adjusting and adjusting. Too tall, maybe he's too short. Maybe we need somebody who's big and strong that can match up against him. And I just kept on persevering. The last championship I won, was played against Bular, played against Seiler, played against Ramos, Bular, and Seiler. He had 3 huge big guys. You know what I mean? He just kept on rearranging, trying to figure out how to stop Puyin. But we just managed, just my teammates. We just got better. Winston got opportunity to go play in China. Shihu got opportunity to play in China. Jin Hao got opportunity. Just our team was just the chemistry was just so good.
Wait a minute.
And then
they just say Jin Hao?
Yeah.
Oh man. What's wrong with Doug?
I'm just
Taiwanese, Taiwanese.
So they just got opportunity, and then the head guy got the biggest opportunity to go play in China. So just the success just kept on rolling. But to go back a little bit, the first 2 championships, our leader came to us and said, would you like to become naturalized and live here in Taiwan? I was like, to be in Taiwan? I was like, yes. Before he can give it out, I was like, yes. It wasn't talk to my family or anything. I just knew right then that Taiwan was a great place to be. And I just said, okay, without knowing too much of the details, it was just, that was the light bulb then when the opportunity was brought to me.
Right. 要留在台湾其实也是困难重重啊，因为 SBL 一直改变规则，有的时候呢要改高度限制，然后呢有的时候又没有高度限制，他还要跑到一个地方是要斜下来量去量正式高度，然后后来呢又没有高度限制，又来了像布拉、像塞勒啊，或者是一些220几公分的，可是璞园还是继续赢球，所以这个有的时候也并不是说你在账面上看起来有多强，而是你的团队有没有真正的化学作用。那更重要的是，我刚刚有问他，就是他什么时候决定，或者是有没有那个时间点，他突然觉得，我要留在台湾。他说其实也没有，只是呢，就是他们赢球，然后他们有了璞园的选手就开始得到了去 CBA 打球的机会，所以一个一个的就开始离开了。可是那个时候呢，他还是继续留在璞园，然后这个李老板就问他说，你愿不愿意留在台湾当归顺？他马上就答应了，他也没问他爸妈，他也没问他妈妈，他就说好，马上答应。所以他觉得台湾是他要待的地方。Well, that's very courageous of you to give up your citizenship. Now that had backlashes, right?
In what way?
Like when you went back to U.S., did you get problems going into immigration?
Ever since I've been traveling, Taiwanese really just don't know the history of Black history in America. Even when I was traveling with my passport, it was always problems coming back into the country.
Right.
Even with a U.S. passport, I had to go through customs, look at your passport. What were you doing?
But they don't think.
What were you doing in Cyprus?
They don't think Afro-American can travel, right?
Black American.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't think that Black Americans, have or should be traveling. Or it's like, what have you been doing over there? Oh, I've been playing basketball.
Yeah, I'm 6'9".
Oh yeah, no.
Arm up to the trees.
Yeah, 6'9" black guy terrorist or something like that.
Yeah, other than shooting threes, I'm getting my bazookas out.
Absolutely. So it's like, what are you doing there?
Right.
It's many questions. No matter if I was traveling from Cyprus, then I go back and I go to Portugal, and then there's a limit that you can only have like 10,000 USD on you.
Right.
So that was always a question. Oh, you've been playing basketball overseas, huh? When did you arrive there? I was like, can I have my passport back so I can see? He's looking at the same information. There's just always just problems traveling back and forth no matter what. So just that was just aggravating. So now that I have my Taiwanese ID, traveling back and forth it's even worse now.
Asian black now.
Yeah, I'm like, you're like, so where's your US passport? I was like, I don't have it anymore. Well, why don't you have it? Because I gave it up. Why did you give it up? Because of the way you guys treat me right now.
Because we're away from
you. I'm trying to get away from you guys right now. I'm trying to get away from all these questions.
Yes.
So
that's a good move.
Do you have anything on you?
It wasn't pleased to their ears, right?
Yeah, it just they didn't like that at all. So you mean you're gonna give up your passport to the greatest country in the world? I was like, that's what you believe. Can I please go? My ride is waiting on me. But so yeah, it was backlash from that side, from those type of problems. But yeah.
Plus, not only giving up U.S. passport, you have to travel because you play all these Asian games.
Right.
Now, the Asian game in the past few years not limited to Japan, Korea, Philippines. Now we're going to Middle East.
Yeah.
And that must be super sensitive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just recently, I traveled to back home, and I think 4 years ago, I went to Iran, which Iran is one of the countries that have a dispute with America,
right?
And everything was fine. I've traveled there back and forth to America with this stamp of Iran in my passport. It was never a problem up until last year. I make it to San Francisco, going to a wedding, and they're like, okay, wait, you have an Iran stamp,
right?
Sent me to the back, questioned me. These lights are just swinging and everything. Interrogating, what were you doing here? I was like, I played basketball there.
You showed the highlights.
Oh yeah,
on
no
YouTube,
phones.
Right?
Hey, you bring out that phone. Hey, put your phone in. No phones.
Let me see your phone.
Yeah.
Let me show you YouTube.
Luckily, there was an Asian guy there who was actually like, hey, I actually know you. So he actually tried to help me out. But it was 4 hours inside the holding area, and they basically told me, you can't come back to the U.S. unless you have some special paper, some special B2 visa or something like that. So my mom was outside waiting on me. She was crying, didn't understand why I couldn't come into the country.
Special paper?
Yeah, some special visa.
How about birth certificate? Is that okay?
No, that's
not good enough?
That's out the door, yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey, birth certificate doesn't mean anything. And just like you mentioned, African American, that just means that we don't belong in the country to begin with.
All right. Black American, wait, I must be out of the country too long. I'm politically incorrect now, okay?
No, I mean, it's normalized now. So,
right.
But yeah, it was definitely backlash and definitely problems with that. So the feeling was definitely bad having to sit there and with a bunch of people who didn't speak English, who's smuggling stuff. We're all in this big room and couldn't do anything. And here I am waiting to see.
Big deal with the rubber glove on, right?
Yeah, well, not quite that. No cavity check.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah.
OK.
But yeah, it got pretty intense.
这一段我基本上问 Quincy 就说，当台湾人归顺台湾籍，要没有美国护照。那回到美国的时候是碰到很多的困难跟麻烦，再加上呢，他本来到全世界各地打球的时候呢，到海关其实是受到百般刁难的，所以这个对他来说并不是一个非常好的事情。所以他拿到台湾护照了以后，回去美国其实几次都还 OK， 可是就是有几年他去了伊朗打比赛，那问题就出现了，因为他说你是美国人，那为什么要去啊？你现在是台湾护照，你的美国护照跑起来说，我不要美国护照了。对方说你为什么要把全世界最强大最棒的国家的护照给不要了？他就说这是你觉得而已。那当然了，这个中间还有很多的曲折。我觉得虽然这个表面上看起来 Quincy 的日子好像就是非常的完美，可是实际上在 当美国人以后，当做一个台湾人代表台湾出赛，还是要碰到很多生活面上面的挑战跟困难的。所以在这个地方呢，在这一集结束之前，我在这边呢呼吁大家一定要去 Uncle Q 的这个餐厅一起来看看这个 Quincy 日常生活在干什么。那地点呢，如果你不知道的话呢，就是在潮州街105号1楼，在师大旁边对面一个巷子里面。你去那边1楼，你会看到非常棒的一个素食主义者的餐厅。虽然如果你说我不是素食主义者，可是里面还是有很多菜煮的就跟有肉一样的，所以大家都可以一起去支持 Quincy 的餐厅。不过到这边呢，我们第一集就结束。在下一集里面呢，我们会跟 Quincy 稍微聊一下，就是今年的霹雳，还有对霹雳的一些看法。我们下期再见，拜拜。